All right.
Could you read them, please?
Okay, here is a fortunate life. This one is resilient life. And this is ordinary life. We all have an ordinary every day, you go to work, you come home, you eat, you sleep, and that's ordinary life. And there is a tragic life. So, does it make sense? You are fortunate because everything goes your way and you don't have any ups and downs, How many of those lives exist? Not a whole lot. But the tragic life is that, you know what they call, I don't like that word, affluenza. Have you heard about affluenza? The 21-year-old boy who doesn't know anything about sickness, poor, he's so rich. Yeah. And then he doesn't even know other people's lives. He couldn't care less. And he was driving his sports car, crossed a stop sign, and killed 3 young people and the grandfather. He killed 4 people in a car crash. And they said, he's not responsible. He doesn't even know about the tragedy of human. He has everything he wanted, have anything, The mother gave him all the best he can. And therefore, the reason that he was charged because of affluenza. Where's the sense of responsibility? Do you not have anything? Well, how was he brought up? Was he asked to wash his own face and do his own thing? Or the servants always give him everything he wanted? And there are people who are rich like that. When we visited, when the children were very, very young, and we visited a family in Hong Kong, and then the children needs a milk or something, and the mother will call the servant and say, I said, okay, we're going to get some milk for my son. I said, oh no, Mabel can do it. Mabel, come on. They have feet. They can go to the fridge. They can pour their own milk. Why do you need a servant to serve you with a glass of milk? Well, this is the thing. When you have everything so well, all of a sudden, tragedy. You're not responsible. You don't know why you live. You don't know anything. And that's tragic, isn't it? And then, of course, this is resilient. How many people have gone through hell in their earlier life? And they said, I am going to make something of myself. I have meaning to live. I have a purpose to live. And I know where I'm at. And I know who I am. And I'm not going to let them, to squash me. And I'm going to look up. And I'm going to build something. And I'm going to be somebody. So a meaningful life, you could take all the different tracks. But if you build up your client, you say, I am going to overcome all the dark side of human. I cannot avoid it, right? And I just have to rise above it. And I train myself so that I am strong enough, I'm resilient enough, I'm going to reach the goals that I want. Then your life would be meaningful. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. That's more research on that. Resilience, the path to resilience, you could read up that. Maybe I could do a little bit here. Okay, So I'm going to spend some time on this. What is a set of intervention in meaning therapy? Now, overall, meaning therapy is pure, P-U-R-E. Then how are we going to reach that? How are we going to help people? So there are A, B, C, D, E. It's a little different from the other orientation. So what is A? A is accept reality. B is believe the possibilities. C is commit to achieve the goal. D is to discover new resources and solutions. E is evaluate and enjoy the progress. Okay, that is my my excitement about meaning therapy is A, B, C, D, E strategy. And I find it is the hardest to do A. Acceptance. In my experience with my clients, to accept what is unfair, to accept what I cannot change, to accept, the things that's thrown at me, to accept my own disabilities, my own faults, my own shortcomings. That was the hardest struggle. I spent more sessions on acceptance than on any other areas. So I don't think we could accept totally, but we could move one step at a time to accept something, to be responsible for something, to have to, yes, I am short. I accept that. Okay, I could compensate for that. Yes, I am of different cultural background. I have to learn to accept it. I should be proud of where I am. Because, so often you just have to be learning how to accept. And there's a lot of areas that the clients can tell you how they can accept. Okay? So that is the hardest part. We believe that life is worth living. We all have faith. Spirituality is there. Whether you wanted to acknowledge it or not, it is there. So you have to have faith. But I find that it's so important to believe in oneself. B is that I believe I can do it. I believe I have the ability to do it. I believe that I can learn. I believe that I can be creative. You see, so often we do not discover people's talents. I'm sure you have a lot of skills that you haven't even discovered. And so we have to encourage our client or ourselves to believe in ourselves, believe in the things, the talents that we have not discovered. So, and also we need to, for Christians, we believe that God has a purpose in my life. And God can help me in these situations. Or if you believe in other, religion, and you think that is a bigger power outside yourself that can help. So believing is very strong because you have to believe in yourself and you have to believe in the bigger one outside yourself that could help. Commitment, and that is another biggie. To what extent you commit yourself to fulfill those goals. You make excuses. I have no time, okay? I am too tired. And I'm weak. And somebody wanted to, help me doing this and that. You make all kind of excuses. But if you're focusing, you say, yes, I have this goal, I want to reach the goal, and I wanted to commit myself. And it's amazing. I think young people follow this a lot conscientiously than you have, other family members in the group. They always depend on other people to do it. He did not do this, or she would have to do such and such. I think it's a commitment, personal commitment. So that's part of the meetings intervention. And I love discovery. You surprise yourself. After you have set your goal, you committed yourself, you accepted all this, and then you believe that you can do it, and you commit yourself to do it, even though it was some kind of foreign to you, but you tried it. And it was just wonderful when I come back and they come in and say, guess what? I did such and such. I didn't know I was able to do this. And that's discovery. And that is the most exciting part of the whole approach. You discover something that you never thought you could. You discover something you never know that you had. And it is amazing. And that is the part that we share. and then we celebrate. And then we say, well, okay, we enjoy the results. And I told them, I said, well, we set out years ago, and you're doing so well. Now you're graduating, and you're from a D, F and D. Now you're doing B plus and A's. I mean, you have accomplished, right? But through hard work, through accepting, believing, committing, and it was good. So I said, well, you don't need me anymore. No. I said, okay. How about, you do such thing, we'll see you every other week? Okay. Then we said, how about every month? And then gradually they were at the university level, like the father comes back and says, she's doing so well. And that is our reward. So this is kind of a very brief, very rough overview of the meaning-centered approach. So we are kind of integrating, because you can tell in each area we are using CBT, right? Planning, goals, and everything else. And we also talk about understanding self, that is a psychoanalysis, a psychodynamic. And then we also talk about behavioral, how we can do that. And humanistically, we talk about, we feel the same way, how you share yourself with others so they come. So this is a kind of an integrative framework that you can follow through without just saying, well, am I going to give them homework? Am I going to do such and such? Do I do a gym analysis? Or do I going to do art therapy? No, it's just the more you practice, the advantage of this is that you bring all the tools that you have into this framework and make it work. Does it make sense? And let's see if I have anything. Yeah, okay, so good timing, 10 to 12. So I was just giving you a very, very brief overview. And in your handout, and there are more details. And if you wanted to learn more, you wanted to ask some questions, and you have situations that you don't know where how would meaning-centered approach deal with this, do feel free to email me. No names, no age, yeah. And then Paul could give you some hints how to do, how direction, or I can tell you, some of the experiences that I have in this situation. So I think that will be very, very, so this is exactly what we need to do. Commitment is a biggie. Yeah. And this is what I love. Okay, we're not going to go into different models today. Okay, the double vision. We are talking about every session with a client and here and now. But that is important. But you get very short-sighted if you just talk about from week to week. That's why the goal, the purpose is so important. You talk about the future. So in other words, yes, we talk about now, but how does this help you build the future goals? And I think that really helps. It was funny. When I had a young lady coming to me, and the first thing the mother said, the mother and father were there, and let me see, how old was she? She was about, she's 11, now she's 14. And the mother said, the first thing is that, I let her do what she wants to do. I never pressure her for high grades or anything. Isn't that kind of odd? The first thing in the back of my mind is that, what was the purpose? What was the meaning that she's trying to impress me, that she is not pressuring the daughter to achieve high academic goals? What was behind all that? The very first session. That was very interesting. Because the mother always worried about her putting her desire onto the girl. So she wanted me to take over. Maybe she does have a tendency to do that. So to warn me not to do that to her. Because grade 11, at age of 11, and I kind of find it very interesting. But it gives me an insight. What kind of environment are they living in? It was really interesting. The second session, when I had the daughter by herself, she's intelligent, she's very sociable, and she's got lots of talents. But she's under the shadow of her older sister who just started university. At that time was only graduating from grade 12. And the parents always say the older sister has the ability, she's all together, and she is academically good. And this one, 5 years younger, she needs protection, and so I'm not demanding so much from her. So what does that mean to the little girl? She was underestimated. She was not provided with an environment to enrich and to discover her talent. So, as a professional, I do a few things, let her do some evaluation and scales, things like that. Wow, I saw this girl has superior intelligence, very astute, dealing with people. There's just so much to be there. So what do you do? And we talk about it. What do you really want to do? I don't know. I always need the protection of the dad and the mom, because she was raised in fear and never actualizing herself. And you wouldn't believe it. She's a leader. She had the baseball team. She's in the band, and she's got B+, the lowest in French. Everything is A+. And I got the mom back together. And she relieved. I said, you know what? It is so important that you have to develop your child the way she should be evaluated. She should be trained. And they're very happy. So, I mean, so often we are not rescuers, but in a sense we are, right? So this is why we need to know all the skills, all the things that we have learned to pass on to our clients. And then we could feel good, work ourselves out of a job. But then they say, well, if I work ourselves out of a job, then I have no job. No, the more people you send out, the more people are coming in. And that is a reward for good work. And that is a reward for lunch.
Nice transition.
And back here at 1 o'clock,